Welcome back to another episode of the Ohio Tech Report. Today we've got three stories for you. Pretty interesting stuff, but they're all kind of public policy related, which is a bit usual and indifferent, but we're really excited to dive in. First one's going to be about artificial intelligence and some legislation proposed to streamline Ohio state law rules. A second one is going to be about talent and keeping Ohio's college graduates here. And the third one is around onshoring and kind of building things here at home, which is kind of a big pandemic movement and getting more companies to do it. But this is Ohio Tech Report presented by Zendesk, and our guest co-host this week is Spencer Gross. So Spencer, welcome. And if you could just share a little bit about yourself, what you do, and I'll mention Spencer's and his team at Highbridge, which he'll describe. They help us with our public policy stuff. So real experts at the state house and with government. So Spencer, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate the opportunity to come on here. I've really watched for a long time prior to us engaging with you and helping OhioX. Have really admired what you've built with OhioX. So very, very pleased to be a part of it. My name's Spencer Gross. I'm the Vice President of Government Affairs at Highbridge Consulting. We are a full service government affairs, strategic kind of communications and strategy shop in Columbus, Ohio. Like I said, we've been really excited to work with OhioX, serve as the VP of Public Policy in that capacity with OhioX, and really excited to be here today.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for everything you do, Spencer, and for joining today. But I'd be remiss if we didn't start off with, again, thanking our host or our sponsor for this episode in the Ohio Tech Report, which is Zendesk. And Zendesk was built upon a simple idea: make customer service software that's easy to use and accessible for everyone. Their customer service and engagement products are powerful and flexible and scale to meet the needs of any business. They serve businesses across hundreds of industries with more than 145,000 paid customer accounts, offering service and support in more than 30 languages. Zendesk is headquartered in San Francisco. They operate worldwide. And if you want to learn more, you can go to zendesk.com. So, Spencer, we'll dive into our stories if you're ready to go. Pulling up the first one, which is again around legislation proposed to streamline Ohio state laws rules using artificial intelligence technology. And as Lieutenant Governor John Husted has kind of dubbed it, it's called Innovate the Code. It was in the works before the pandemic, but that experience has proved the point that changes are needed, said the Lieutenant Governor. And quote, he says, "We flip the switch and understand that there are many ways that we can use tech to create conveniences." So it's kind of a cool thing, and using technology to better government and services for taxpayers.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lieutenant Governor Husted, upon taking office, started heading up a brand new agency called Innovate Ohio, and really at its core was tasked with using technology to better the lives of taxpayers in Ohio and make government more efficient and accessible to the average Ohioan. This is just an extension of that, putting a small investment in AI and looking at the code for Ohio, finding things that could be changed or redundancies. Estimated that we'll see 4 or 5 fold returns off of that investment. It's kind of interesting. I was just in the Road Tower the other day for a meeting, and in the lobby there, they have a Bmv Express Kiosk that Innovate Ohio has sort of spearheaded. And rather than having to go to the BMV or go online and request my tags, I was able to do it in about 2 minutes. Just another example of one of those things that's, how can we utilize technology to just make things easier for folks when it comes to government tasks like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I had to renew my license somewhat recently, I was able to check in online for the first time. And so my hour plus long wait turned into a 5 or 10 minute wait, because I could check in, see how long. It was kind of, you order a pizza with Domino's or somewhere like that.
Right.
You can track it, where it's at, how long, what number you're at in the queue. And then when I was getting close, I got in the car and drove, and in and out really quick and efficient. So it's cool to see what they're doing, using tech, as we said, innovation to better services, both within government and then for taxpayers themselves. So we'll go to story number 2 now, which is an Ohio bill, another policy thing, proposes tax cuts and loans to attract and keep college graduates in the state. And so many college graduates, not unique to Ohio, leave the state that they went to school in, go somewhere else. But Ohio Rep. John Cross, a Republican who represents a district in Northwestern Ohio, proposed a bill that would give that would give new college graduates a 3-year, 100% state tax refund to stay in Ohio for 3 years after graduation. It would also provide additional loans and student aid to students at 2- and 4-year universities and institutions. So it's another thing, kind of talent is one of the top things we hear from businesses, and keeping that in state. So it's interesting to see some policy proposals trying to make that happen.
Absolutely. And in Ohio, unlike, as you mentioned, other states, we have a brain drain problem. We're in the top 5 or 6 in the country for this brain drain issue. As we saw in the last census, we lost a congressional seat. This is a trend that we need to reverse. And so any proposals like this that are kind of outside the box thinking, that have a direct economic impact for people to, stay within the state of Ohio, I think should be a welcome thing that should be seriously considered.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we'll hop on to story 3 now, which again is kind of a bigger theme around this trend or movement for onshoring that has been brought to light and brought to kind of the forefront of stuff because of COVID. And here's a quick story that we'll kind of drop in the comments. You can read it, but it came out of Cinciano, the Columbus Business First here in Central Ohio. And it's around Ready Robotics, which is another kind of manufacturing tech company that is growing and building up. But as they say, the drive to bring manufacturing capacity back to the U.S., combined with the labor shortage we were just talking about, it kind of made a perfect place and opportunity for this Columbus startup, Ready Robotics. And so they help factories augment their workforce with automation, just as the article says, global supply chain weaknesses, have had challenges. And I don't know about you, Spencer, but I'm waiting on some stuff that's probably in a shipping container outside of Los Angeles right now.
Yeah, and there's a story that just came out the other day that a lot of ships are even further out now because there's not even enough space around the ports to get in. So yeah, I mean, the pandemic exposed this as a huge problem. To the extent that we can bring manufacturing back home, that's going to be better for everyone, better for the United States economy, better for consumers in Ohio and the country. So again, just a great example of technology that can help solve a real tangible problem that people are facing today.
Yeah, and it combines, tech and the kind of the future economy with something Ohio's been really good at for a long time, and that's building things and making things. And so it's cool to see this, and cool to see startups that are being built, not necessarily from the manufacturing side, but helping manufacturers get better, quicker, and faster. And so I'm sure they have a pretty large customer base here in Ohio, here in the Midwest that they can get to. So that's the Ohio Tech Report. Again, want to thank Zendesk, who's our presenting sponsor, making this conversation possible. And Spencer, thanks so much for joining. Any kind of final parting thoughts or comments from your side?
Absolutely. Again, just extremely happy to be a part of OhioX and looking forward to a continued relationship for a long time.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Spencer. Thanks for joining. We appreciate everyone tuning in. This is actually going to be the last one because we're not going to be publishing on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. And so want to thank you all for watching this year. We'll come back the first week in January, but thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. It's an exciting time for tech in Ohio. We'll talk to you all in 2022. Have a great one. Bye-bye.